All right, everybody. We're here. Hope you guys are ready for some NXT as we're waiting for the show to commence. I am your host, Steven Sanders. We are here at Marked by Wrestling, where being a mark just means you believe, and believing makes wrestling better. And there's nothing better to watch many weeks than NXT. So we'll be starting here any minute. I'm here just a couple minutes early. Glad you guys could be here as we're getting ready to start. Sophie Dophie, how you doing? You're watching the episodes of Daredevil Born Again that you missed last week. Okay, if you managed to catch up on those by the time we're still here in the chat, let me know what you think. I really enjoyed those last two episodes last week. I can't wait to watch the next one tonight before I call it a night after the show. But here we are, then, now, forever. I really like the color scheme of the constellations for that. I don't know. I'm just such a visual, visual mark. I don't know. I can say that. It's all right. You just got YouTube TV? Okay, yeah. YouTube TV has been great. Justin Allen Crane, welcome to the chat, friend. We are ready to rock and roll. Got my Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon shirt ready to get on my own commentary for NXT tonight. Back in Orlando, back in back in America. Good to see you, Dawsey Chatham. Welcome to the chat. And here he is, our challenger for tonight, Ricky Saints. His first title shot tonight against the recently crowned North American champion, Shawn Spears, flanked by the Culling in the parking lot. We'll see how we get started tonight as it goes. Crowd is hot and ready for some action. Sophie, you said John Cena said there might be more surprises on the way. Well, I'd say I'm not surprised. I'm happy to hear that. We've still got 3 weeks left. All right, lights are out. Who's coming out first? Are we getting La Primera to start off the show again? Our champ, Stephanie Vaquer. Here she comes. And is she, okay, yeah, she's in civilian gear, so she's starting off the show. Got both belts and a great showing last week from the double champ. Wrestling twice, coming out on top twice. I admit I was surprised that she retained against Fallon Henley. And a great match against Miss Parker, Jada Parker, as well for the NXT Championship. Stephanie making her entrance into the ring. Sophie asks, do you think the WWE will do the European tour 3 weeks before Mania every year? I don't know. What do you guys think? We can talk about this in commercial breaks. Do you think that Stephanie was at UFC Fight Night as well. And I saw even UFC social accounts were putting her over. So she's making a lot for the press here. And, Ava is out here. My stream is freezing just a little. Remember, we closed the show last week with Ava saying, she had a plan for who Stephanie's next challenger would be. La Primera chance. Okay. Ava's got a super easy job of just putting Stephanie over here. Uh-oh. Oh, they've announced that Stephanie's vacating the North American title. The crowd's not happy. Okay, the crowd's not happy about it. The crowd is not happy about it. Okay. So Ava's announced at Stand and Deliver, we're going to have a 6-woman ladder match for the North American title, and the qualifying matches are tonight. So Stephanie, oh, hold on, she's given a condition. Oh, Stephanie says she'll only relinquish if she can choose her NXT title competitor, and like clockwork, Jordan's coming out wanting to call dibs. This is all happening so fast. Jordan Grace throwing Jada Parker under the bus immediately. Here we go again. Jada Parker and Jordan Grace both trying to vie for the NXT title shot at Stand and Deliver. Crowd chanting for Miss Parker. Listen, she's got a louder response than Jordan Grace. Oh, shout out. Jada's got a Crenshaw jersey on. Okay. She ain't got no manners. Jada's so good on the mic. She's so natural on the mic. It's great. Dude, the crowd is so here for this promo. They're reacting on time for everything. Okay, well, I think we're probably getting a number 1 contender match. Security's in the ring. Jordan, whoa! Oh! Jordan just launched a dude straight out of the ring. You would have thought he was the second coming of Javon Evans. Just launched a security guard out of the ring. And I know those are holy chants because my TV has gone silent. Oh, my goodness. We're definitely getting Jordan versus Jada somewhere before Stand and Deliver. All right. Yeah, okay, so we're getting an Instagram reel here of Trick Williams. I know they've already advertised that he's going to be confronting Oba Femi tonight. So, okay. So let's try to recap real quick. Hold on. Oh, now Oba Femi's in the parking lot. Maybe we wait till commercial break. Justin, it's funny you said you didn't know Jordan was that short. I didn't realize Ava was as tall as she was by comparison when I saw her standing next to Stephanie. Okay, so we've got qualifying matches for the ladder match at Stand and Deliver, y'all. We're getting a ladder match at brunch time. So make sure you get your sleep the night before Stand and Deliver because we'll be right back here doing that thing. All right, so we're not announcing those qualifying matches yet. Okay, all right, we're on commercial. All right, let's recap. First and foremost, Stephanie Vaquer has agreed to relinquish the North American title, which will now be held up in a ladder match at Stand and Deliver. And tonight we will be having qualifying matches to see who is in that match. Now, Sophie, I imagine they'll be doing qualifying matches probably in the weeks leading up. I don't think they're going to do all the qualifying matches tonight because she said there's going to be six women in it, which means you're going to have 6 matches. So I imagine we'll probably get 2 a week. So we'll probably get 2 of them tonight. Is just me guessing. Now, Stephanie, to her credit, said NXT has given me so many opportunities to shine as a women's wrestler here. I don't want to rob the great women of this roster of opportunities. I want to give them opportunities just like I was. So that's why she viewed that as holding the North American title hostage. I would have liked to see her pull double duty just a little bit longer before coming to that conclusion personally, but I like that rationale. She didn't see, she didn't seem to be too upset about it, but she also said, I'm only going to give up this title if I can pick who I'm facing at Stand and Deliver for the NXT title, which has now gotten us to Jada Parker and Jordan Grace hashing it out again, trying to call that shot. I wonder if that ends up being a triple threat match or if Jordan comes in here as it is. So, all right. So that's where we are currently, and we're going to have Trick Williams and Oba Femi running into each other at some point tonight, as well as a North American title match. So we got a lot going on tonight already just in the first 12 minutes. So let's do that thing. All right, catching up on some chats here. Sophie said people think Trick is the new leader of that new group. So the new group is called Dark State. We're all going to learn together. It took me a while to figure that out as well. I think there's no evidence to the contrary yet that Trick Williams could be involved with Dark State. He's never actually been attacked by them, and they have attacked people he has beef with. So we'll see what happens. If I'm Trick and that is what's going on, I wouldn't reveal that until Stand and Deliver. Be advantageous with it. You know what I mean? So we'll do that. All right. Samantha Poole, hey, girl, welcome to the chat. You just keep doing your spring cleaning. We'll be here. And hope you got your NXT on in the background so you can party with us tonight. Let's see, Sophie, do you think Stephanie will get the call up a lot sooner than people think? I think so here's the thing. I think she's ready. I don't know. There's conflicting reports as to whether or not Julia was actually injured or not. And NXT, as we say every week, one of the best, maybe the best women's roster in all of professional wrestling right now. So they can't afford to lose her if they want to call her up. I don't want to see Stephanie called up unless they're going to let her shine the way she's shining now. You know what I mean? And I don't think I'm alone in that. So it is what it is. But I'm really glad that Stephanie is where she's at right now. Okay, let's see what else we got. Question from Teflon Don, our mod father. Thank you so much in here. All right. Steven, Fatal 4 promo battle. Who are you taking? CM Punk, John Cena, The Miz, and The Miz. Well, if we've got 2 Miz's here, what are we talking about? I will come back to that. I'm going to hide that real quick. I'm starting it, though. I'm going to come back to that one, Teflon, now that the ladies are back now arguing with each other. I see Nikita Lyons. I see Fatal Influence. I see Carmen Petrovich. I see Cora Jade. I guess that might be it. Was that the heel women's locker room? Because I didn't see a lot of faces in there. All right. We'll see what happens. All right. Well, they got the belt out already, so we're about to get our first qualifying match. Oh, Zaria's here. Okay. I mean, you need someone like, if you're doing Zaria, if you're doing a ladder match, having a heavy, if you will, like Zaria, a heater, a beast, a powerhouse, is almost mandatory in a ladder match. So, oh, look at this. And Solruk is out here to support her. You love to see it. The team bonding. Good stuff. Teflon Don. Okay, LA Knight was the 4th one. Okay. So Miz, Cena, Punk, LA Knight. Yeah. In a 4-way promo battle, Miz, Cena, Punk, and LA Knight. All right, if it's just any Monday or Friday or PLE, I'm going to pick CM Punk. But if you're asking me the best feeling I ever got from any 4 of those men's promos, this might come to shock you, but it's The Miz. The Miz's Talking Smack promo on Daniel Bryan about the Intercontinental title is, for my money, the best promo I've heard any 4 of those men cut. Now, all 4 of them are fantastic. I think every single week I look forward to hearing LA Knight the most. I'm a biggest fan of LA Knight. I think Punk is probably the most accomplished. Cena's very good, and he will, he saves his really savage stuff for special occasions, as we saw yesterday. But and they're all great though. But if you're gonna make me pick who's had the single most important or best promo out of those 4, I'd pick The Miz. If it's just who I'm looking to see every week, probably LA Knight. And who I think is actually going to probably cut the best promo just right out of nowhere, probably CM Punk. So I'm going to lean CM Punk because that's what I think you were asking in that question. But you know me, I overshare and I give too much information and context. That's who I am. All right. Well, here we go, guys. Our first qualifying match for the Women's North American title ladder match is Lash Legend versus Zarya. So who do you got? Who do you got in this match to go forward? Because to be honest, if you were asking me to just pick names off the top of my head about who was going to be in this ladder match, I would have considered both of these ladies could have made it. So, but to be fair, both of these women are technically in the tag division. But we'll see what we got. Okay, Justin's picking Zarya. We'll see who the rest of you got for this match. George also going with Zarya. I'm inclined to pick Zarya as well. So, because I just think that Lash and Jakara have more of a future, maybe getting back up to that main roster's tag division. Just because they don't have belts doesn't mean there's not a division. It's not the way I'd like it to be, but we still have tag teams. We still have female tag teams on this program. Okay. Little test of strength back and forth. We don't see that a whole lot anymore. Right into a Northern Lights. Okay, Lash, I see you. George, I believe so. I think Lash and Jakara and Chemical X, I think, are too, aren't they? Going for the TNA titles. Someone asked, too, in the chat earlier, do we think we'll see a TNA knockout in this field for the North American title? And I think that would be a brilliant choice. That would be a lot of fun. Whoa! Lash channeling her inner Gunther and just smacked the chest of Zarya. Wow. We're having a chop battle with these ladies. Like a spinning guillotine there by Zarya, trying to chop down that tree at Lash Legend. Goodness gracious. These ladies have some pretty good chemistry together. Sunset flip coming from Zarya. All right, well, we got 2 count. Man, I remember this was so long ago, guys. Back in the day, a sunset flip would end a match like nobody's business. It's so funny how quickly wrestling evolves, you know? Oh, it's like an elbow to the back of the neck or something. Zarya misses an elbow. Kip up. Lash is up. Zarya went up for a kip up as well. They're trying to match blow for blow. Well, is Lash going to try to go for a choke slam? Oh, double goozles here. Teflon Don, I've got to highlight your comment here, my brother, because just think on how far the women's division has come. We came from bra and panty matches to instant classics from Becky, Charlotte, Bianca, Sasha, and many more. No lies detected, Teflon Don, 100%. Women's wrestling is in a fantastic place right now. I know there's some debate. Even I saw Mickie James got in some, I wouldn't say some hot water, but she's had some she got some comments over some comments she made on LFG about one of their talents' gear and, how hard the women have worked since the Attitude Era days to be respected and not just objectified. And I think there's, for the most part, a really good resting place right now for the fact that the women are arguably giving out better matches than the men on some of these shows. And they're not just there for their visual objectification like they were in the Attitude Era. I mean, all these ladies are beautiful, and stuff, but clearly they're there because they belong there. You know what I mean? And they belong there as performers in the same breath as some of these men that we watch every week too. So I'm just happy to see that. It's a product I'm again mostly proud to watch in front of my daughters. So I love the Bianca Belairs of the world, the Io Skies of the world. We're just talking about the main roster right now. Rhea is a great in-ring competitor, and a lot of these NXT ladies as well. Stephanie Vicaire, and Jordan Grace, and so many others, and Julia as well. I know we've mentioned Julia briefly, but so many great examples. And I could just keep naming women for 2 hours, but that would be a really boring stream. So anyway, yeah, couldn't agree more, Teflon on. Thank you for that comment. It's been a great trajectory. And honestly, that's just like a 20-year period, basically, which 20 years is a long time. But at the same time, considering how long wrestling's been around, that's actually a pretty short time. And that they have come as far as they've come, because wrestling being this mainstream pop culture thing has been about a 40-year journey right now. And the real, I would say the real renaissance of women's wrestling with some of the women you named, that's really been about 10 years. So it's been pretty amazing. 2013, 2014 is when we started seeing, the horsewomen come up, and from then on, like, we just have not had any setbacks as far as in-ring skill. It just keeps getting higher and higher. So I'm happy to be a fan right now. So my brother George here, I know the NXT Stand and Deliver is going to be stacked. You ain't lying. It's going to be an excellent card, and we don't even have an official match announced yet. But just knowing how good the talent is right now and where they're going on this roadmap, just in the women's division alone, we're going to have a lot of fun at Stand and Deliver. I can't wait. Sophie Dofi says, I wonder how different NXT would look if Vince didn't blow up the original NXT. Well, it's kind of funny when I think about the old NXT, and then I was one of many, many people who thought it was a huge mistake to pivot from the black and gold NXT to this NXT 2.0. But that NXT 2.0 has gotten us where we are now. I don't think they could have made that jump from black and gold straight to here. And honestly, black and gold NXT, in a way, I know some people are going to probably get a little sensitive about this, but essentially became what AEW is now. Like, I know AEW already existed and stuff, but, you look at like Adam Cole, the Undisputed Era, Keith Lee, who I know hasn't been around. God bless him. I hope he's okay. He hasn't been on TV in a really long time. Swerve was there. A lot of people were there. And just that style of wrestling and that brand of entertainment, honestly, is kind of what black and gold, it's what AEW became in its best versions, I think. So if we had never gotten that, I think there's a lot of wrestling we would have missed out on. But to be honest, I didn't have the foresight to see those possibilities. So I give them credit for, from a fan standpoint, taking a risk on that. But man, I loved Black and Gold too. NXT Black and Gold really got my passion back for pro wrestling. Like I was still kind of watching it, but watching DIY and FTR or the Revival in NXT really turned me into a little kid again. Like I was like, man, this is excellent stuff. Seeing the NXT version of Nakamura and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and all those guys, like that was top tier stuff for me at the time. So Aleister Black, all those guys in NXT, it was great stuff. All right. Sophie asked, do you think NXT would be part of the main roster tours at some point? I don't think so. I think they're going to keep them separate because at the end of the day, we all love NXT. We wouldn't be in this chat. I wouldn't be streaming it if I didn't enjoy it, right? But at the end of the day, NXT has always been a little bit half banger, half developmental. And it looks like WWE as a whole is trying to scale back some of their live events and tours. So I think what they'll probably continue to do is cherry pick a few talents to bring with them from time to time, but not an actual branded tour. I don't think they will. But again, I don't mind being wrong. So if they decide to do it, if it's something that's going to be successful, more power to them. All right, Lash Legend just caught a diving Soul Zarya. Sorry, I was looking at Soul on the outside and said the wrong name. Caught her with a backbreaker. Powerbomb. She's got her up. Oh, reversed into a Hurricane Rana. Pump kick. German suplex. Oh, Zarya got her. A leapfrog. Zarya hit, looks like she hit her throat on the middle rope and came back and walked into a choke slam. But it's only a 2 count. They're giving these ladies time. Getting This Is Awesome chants from the crowd here in Orlando. Okay. Going for the lash extension. Nope. Countered. We're going to get an F5. I don't know if what Zarya's name for her finish is. It's basically an F5, though. Missed pump kick into a spear. Zarya hits a spear. Wasn't quite as vicious as the one she hit last week, but still enough to put down Lash. Now she's picking her up. Fireman's carry. Got her. F5. Is that going to be it? Okay, Zarya comes away with the win. There we go. So Zarya is our first competitor in the North American title ladder match for Stand and Deliver. All right. So there's that. Just doing the recap there, the replay. Lash still kind of recovering, but a good back and forth. We've got one competitor in, so we'll see what we got now. Wonder who else is qualifying tonight. So we've got 1 of 6. Or 5. Sorry, 5. No, 1, 2, 3. It is 6. Again, sorry. Okay. Inamura has challenged Wes Lee to a one-on-one match. And up next, the D'Angelo family intel on Dark State. Interesting. We'll see how that goes. I also happen to notice that Briggs has multiple DC superhero logos tattooed on his arm in that segment. He's got both Superman and Batman logos tattooed on his arm. All right, so let's catch up, guys. We're doing well in the here in the early goings of NXT. We've got a ladder match coming up for Stand and Deliver that Zarya is already going to be a part of. We'll find out who's next. We've got Inamura versus Wes Lee tonight as well. I think that'll be a bit of a sleeper match. You know, Inamura can really go. I don't know if you guys ever have watched Speed, but Inamura wrestled Ivar on Speed, and you know that's the great thing about those 3-minute matches or whatever. Those guys tore it up in such a fast bout. So Inamura can definitely go. So I'm curious to see what he and Wes Lee do tonight as well. And of course, George points out we've got Ricky Saints and Shawn Spears for the North American title in the main event. Sophie Dophie, you stopped watching NXT the day Adam Cole debuted. Wow. That's a heck of a time to quit. Now let me ask you, Sophie, I'm going to put this up here. Was it because of that you quit, or was that just a coincidence? I'm curious to find out, because you missed some really good NXT, not necessarily because of Adam Cole, but when he arrived, things really started picking up for multiple performers, not necessarily because of Adam Cole, although he was good too. Oh, because of that. So Sophie Dophie has beef with Adam Cole. Okay, good to know. But yeah, then I guess you missed like Andrade's run as champion. You might have missed some of Gargano and Ciampa's one-on-one feud, which was excellent, until Ciampa's neck got hurt, which was really a shame. But that also gave us one of the most emotional NXT moments, which was when Gargano won the NXT title against Adam Cole, who had to sub for an injured Ciampa. And then they had to force Ciampa into a face turn because everybody was so upset that he might have to retire for that neck injury that they couldn't boo him anymore. Real life will get your face turn every time. Okay. Let's see. George, Scott, I have a question. When was the last time Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defended the women's tag team championships? Because I can't remember. Okay, so they won them against Bianca and Naomi prior to Elimination Chamber, like just before that, I think. And then I think they've defended them once since then, at least on TV. So that's it hasn't happened much, but it looks like Bayley and Lyra Valkyria may be challenging them on Raw soon. Honestly, I'm just really hoping that happens because and that Roxanne Perez shows up and interferes on Bayley, because I want closure on that feud. I want Bayley and Roxanne wrestling at WrestleMania. And honestly, I'm gonna fantasy book this a little further. I hope they lose the match because of Roxanne's interference, and in that interference, that Liv Morgan pins Lyra Valkyria, and I honestly want to see Liv Morgan get an Intercontinental title shot. I would rather her wrestle for the Intercontinental title than them defend the tag titles at Mania. But nevertheless, yeah, I hope we get something out of it, though, for sure. But yeah, I think they've only been defended once, and it's probably been February since then. So we're looking at 2 months. I don't think they've ever been defended on the European tour, and that was about 3 weeks itself. Did you see the Karate Kid Legends official trailer? Yes, I saw the first one, and I did see one today that was just dropped. I am interested in it because I am a fan of all things Karate Kid, except for the Hilary Swank movie. Did not enjoy it, and I have a small amount of tolerance for the Jaden Smith version as well. But those first 3 films, the Cobra Kai series, I'm all in on all of that stuff. And so I'm looking forward. Now that the new trailer has given us a little bit more story, I'm interested. Sorry, I'm trying to get the volume back up. Kalani Jordan is trying to get herself a shot. Hey, speaking of Roxy,
even better. Wow, Kalani, you finally grew a backbone. Well, guess what? The prodigy and history maker are synonymous, so even with this little new attitude you have, unfortunately, it's actually only going to be one in that ladder match, because both of you are in tonight's second qualifier.
okay, we're getting Kalani and Roxy tonight, y'all. You know what? Roxy's really growing on me, but in such a way that I want to see her move up. So I don't want her in this ladder match at all. I want Kalani to win that. You know, she's a former North American champion, and you know that is something that can they can use in the storytelling. But now we've got intel on Dark State. Let's see what the family has to say. They're giving little personality profiles on everybody from Dark State. This is actually a really creative way to basically do vignettes on the Dark State people.
He was a high-level wrestler from Bill. I know I didn't like this guy. Duke. Exactly. Academic All-American. This guy's got an unlimited gas tank. He likes working guys' will and spirit. See, this guy did Spartan races, carrying logs on his freaking back, running through the mud. All right, I see. Swim through ice water, walk on fire. This guy's like a wannabe John Wick, okay? What do you got for me, Stacks? State Lawn Sugars. This guy's a wild card fuck state. Real slick city kid from BC. Did a little wrestling in high school. He earned his degree from the pavement. So we got a not so smart kind of guy, huh? Ashley Don. This guy turned down an offer from Harvard. Why? I'm not sure why. I had to use all my connections with this one. The thing people kept saying is, people follow him. They listen to him. What, because of it? This guy's a smooth talker, T. It's a charm. These people that feel like they've been best friends with him since they've been in diapers. Then when he's done with them, he dips. Moves on. Well, sounds like we don't have a couple of meatballs trying to get some extra TV time. We've got 4 legit badass. It's all right. This is what we're gonna do. TV, I take the fight to him. Fight fire with freaking fire. We get laughed off. I enjoy the enthusiasm, but you and I both know these guys aren't dummies. They're dangerous. This is your camera talk. I know you want to get to these guys. We all do. But the last time we put together a plan, it didn't work out so well for me. So I'm going to need you to trust me. Like I trusted you. Can you trust me? Yeah, I trust you, Dave. Also, I'm going to review everything that you said. appreciate the intel. Keep your phones out. All right?
Well, I enjoyed that segment. It's like a oh boy. We got Hank and Tank raided Pretty Deadly's wardrobe. Oh, Pretty Deadly's here. Yes, boy. Look at that fish tie. That is the weirdest thing. Unbelievable. This is ridiculous. I hadn't even had a chance to react to that family segment yet. Okay, so we're getting Hank and Tank versus No Quarter Catch Crew, I guess, here in a minute. All right, so let's revisit that family segment. So listen, back in the day, well, at any time of wrestling, you would always have these, vignettes on factions or new performers or whatever it's coming out to establish who you are. And back in the day, one of the most famous sets of vignettes was this fella right here, Mr. Perfect. You can look on YouTube. Some of his vignettes introducing himself was fantastic. Now, that being said, you can't have vignettes on Dark State because they're an invading force. So it wouldn't make any sense, really, for, a production crew to just be hanging out with them, right? So they basically just did 4 small vignettes on the members of Dark State by having that sort of intel shared through the family, which I think was great. That's a really creative way of establishing who all those characters are and where they sort of land and what they have to offer. And then, there's clearly still some tension there between Tony and Stax too. I found it interesting that the one person in Dark State Stax was talking about was what was his name? I still have to learn their names. But it's the last dude. It's the one who's always wearing his half shirt and everything. But I'm sure you guys probably know in the comments. But he was just talking about how that guy basically was the psychological, corrupter of that group, saying he could talk, he could influence people, manipulate people and stuff. And it definitely planted a seed for me. Like, could he corrupt or manipulate Stax when Stax is already kind of feeling undervalued and overlooked from Tony D'Angelo? I don't know, but it's an interesting doorway. So one of you guys already said, George, that you were thinking Stax could be the leader of Dark State. I who knows? They may. There's also rumors about could Trick Williams be a part of Dark State too. We don't know yet, but that's that angle, that story is gaining more intrigue for me. It's headed in the right direction. It's a positive trajectory. Funny segment with Hank and Tank and Pretty Deadly back there, just setting up tonight's match. And kudos to Hank and Tank for not taking themselves too seriously to wear Pretty Deadly's get up. It's pretty funny. Let's see. Sophie Duffy, you asked, do you think we'll see Gunther versus John Cena? If you're asking me today, I'd say no. But I will say this, Sophie. A lot of this depends on what happens at WrestleMania. I think Gunther is going to stay a heel. He's just so good as a heel. I mean, he was phenomenal yesterday with what he did to Jimmy Uso. And unless Cena is going to turn back babyface, which I like to think that he will before his retirement tour is over, but how soon, If there's enough time of him as a babyface, then yes, I think we might get that match after all, because that's one that people will want to see as soon as they're given a
preview of it, I think they'll bite all over that and want that. And Cena is the kind of guy Gunther would have a really good time cutting a promo on for the whole, I mean, I know Rock did the Fruity Pebbles thing 10 years ago, but there is a little bit of a silliness to John Cena's presentation that Gunther would have a blast going off on. So, yeah. Anyway, we're still talking about Dark State as well. George, we'll find out who the leader of Dark State is at some point. 100%. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they wait for Stand and Deliver to make that reveal, because it's obviously one of their main event stories right now. And what better time to reveal it than at your main event show? Justin Hallencrane, can you imagine if Cross is the leader of Dark State? Just a thought. He could work because Cross is a highly underrated promo and an underrated in-ring performer as well. But I got to say, with the way they did Final Testament, I feel like they did him wrong in that. And I'd rather see Cross just fly solo for a little while. Him and Scarlett. But yeah, I would want them to do something with him, though. My hope is that maybe, just maybe, we get done with Braun Breaker as Intercontinental Champion and move him up. And then maybe we could put Cross into one of those mid-card title feuds or bring him over to SmackDown, feud him with LA Knight. I don't know. But, give him something to do. Give him a real feud to work on, because he was being teased with Sami Zayn and working with Miz some too. And then, I don't know, man. It just seems like he interacts with people but never actually feuds with anybody. And he deserves better than that, in my opinion. He's also got a movie coming out soon, actually, which I saw the trailer for. It looks really good. Hopefully it gets a wide release. People can see it. Next episode of Stephanie's Places featuring Cody Rhodes. Did anybody watch the CM Punk episode? I saw a couple of clips online. It looked good, but I hadn't actually watched it. I don't even know where it airs. Is it on ESPN or something? Where is it? Oh, young Cody and Dusty. I miss Dusty. ESPN Plus. Okay. Gotcha. So if you've got ESPN Plus, you can look at Stephanie's Place. You can look at Stephanie's Places. You know what I mean. Anyway. Oh, they should have workshopped that title. I've got a Progressive Insurance presents The Culling. Man, these corporate sponsors cracking me up.
You brought us all together, and look at us now. We're family. 4 equal legs of a chair. But it's all in support of you and your efforts tonight as North American champion, representing the Culling.
I'd like to use the cliche how much I truly admire each and every one of you and your unique skill sets. You're all aware of how much I cherish you all. Tonight, those skills and those traits that I passed along to you, and you passed along to each other, I'll use to vanquish these things.
Oh yeah, Dossie, the bundle. Yeah, actually, I have the bundle Disney Plus too. I may actually look for it there. I never remember to look for non-Disney Plus things on Disney Plus. Who are they? Oh, those are Evolve guys. Okay, it was so weird. They had cut to the audience when No Quarter Cats crew came by, and they were so disinterested, and I'm like, yikes. This is a bad camera shot. I don't mind the name The Culling, George. Culling is, in regards to the word culling doesn't really carry the connotation of a lot of intimidation or fear, but the definition of it, I think, is good. It's just about, removing or eliminating or kind of trimming the fat or eradicating the weak from a group. That's what culling means. All right, Hank and Tank versus No Quarter Catch crew. What do you guys think for this one? Who do you got? Who do you think's going to
take this one? Who do you think is going to take this one? And what do you think of? I feel like this might be my first time in a while seeing Tavion Heights gear. It's like Kurt Angle meets Zack Ryder. It's kind of strange with the leg sleeve and the singlet and arm sleeve. It's a little strange, but hey, go be creative and get noticed, I guess. Meanwhile, Hank and Tank still looking like Public Enemy. I give Hank and Tank credit. They need some kind of a glow up. Because they have such good energy in the ring. Like, they don't move slow. They work the crowd. They do a lot of tandem stuff. They're very animated, but there's just something a little too indie, maybe, for them. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Like, do you guys feel like Hank and Tank are they're just on the verge of finding it? You know what I mean? I actually like their in-ring work, but they wrestle like a top-tier WCW Saturday Night tag team. But I think, yeah, George, I agree that I think they have good chemistry as a tag team. I think they're a good team. They just need another run-through with the gear lady in the back or something. They need some kind of different presentation. Okay. Hank sent over the top. All right, let's see. Hank and Tank saying, yes, boy. See, I'm telling you, man, they're entertaining. They've got it, man. They just, something. George saying Hank and Tank need this win. And Justin says he's calling for Catch Crew. I don't know. I don't know who takes this one. I want to see Hank and Tank win it, to be honest. Catch Crew hasn't really done much since they lost the Heritage Cup. So I'm just going to flip a coin and call it for Hank and Tank. That's what I'm going to call. Sorry, y'all. I misplaced my phone, and I thought I'd just gotten a message. I apologize for that. All right. I give the tag division credit in NXT. It feels, outside of Fraxium and visiting TNA teams and stuff, it feels, a little more on the developmental side of what NXT is from time to time. But I want to be nice and give them an A for effort, because anytime we see a tag match in NXT, whether Fraxium's involved or not, like, these guys seem so motivated, and like, that's one thing they got to keep no matter what, And Hank and Tank, man, they will get the crowd on their side. They can move too, man. Boom. Clothesline inside. Tank working the crowd. Tank's working the crowd, and in the corner you can see Ren Sinclair be like, no, don't get worked by Hank and Tank. Dude, Tank is a firecracker, man. I respect it. Fisherman spine buster. And we only get a 2 count. Yes, boy. There it is again, Dossie. Nope. Oh, no. That didn't look good. I don't like to say the B word that much, but that was a botch. All right. Well, that's probably going to do it for Catch Crew. Yeah. And developmental Randy Orton and Tavion Heights take the win. Oh, man. That was a shame. That was a shame because Hank and Tank were bringing that energy, but I'm glad they cut the replay too, because that drop kick did not connect with Hank at all, and he had to sell it and go out of the ring. Man, Tank was the MVP of that match. Tank's definitely. Sorry, I can't help the puns, but he's got so much in the tank. You know what I mean? He's great. All right, we got Trick Williams walking backstage. Coming up next, I'm going to be calling out the ruler, allegedly. So we'll see what we're going to get. NXT shop commercial. Javon Evans shirt. Oba Femi shirt, not bad looking either. Oh, that Julia shirt looks pretty nice too. Interesting. You know, I kind of wish they put a little more effort into t-shirt making, t-shirt branding, you know what I mean? But you know, I guess you can't have it all. They can't all be homage. Can't be WWE Slam with Gorilla in the Brain, you know what I'm saying? Hey, brother and sister are here. We're in here walking the channel mascots, but listening. Smash the like button. Thank you, A&B Combos Wrestling Edition. Where the Dark State at, Justin? Well, I have a feeling if we're going to see him, we may see him in the next segment because we got Trick Williams calling out Oba Femi when we come back from commercial. A&B Combos, if you're in here with us, first of all, welcome. Second of all, breaking news. Ava opened up the show, bringing La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, into the ring and announced that Stephanie would be relinquishing the North American Women's Championship to be decided at a ladder match and Stand and Deliver. And we have qualifying matches on the way to Stand and Deliver, where we will get a new North American Women's Champion. So currently, Zarya has qualified for the ladder match, and we will have another qualifying match tonight between Kalani Jordan and a returning Roxanne Perez. So that match is yet to happen. And to be fair, she was asked to relinquish, and Stephanie tried to cover for it. God bless her. She said, NXT has given me so many opportunities to succeed, and this women's division is the best women's division in the world, and I want them to have opportunities as well. That's why I'm basically not going to hold this title hostage, and I'm going to let them have at it. So she's and she also said, I'm only going to relinquish it on one condition, that I get to choose who I fight at Stand and Deliver. Now, before she could get another sentence out of her mouth, she was interrupted by Jordan Grace, who was then interrupted by Miss Parker, Jada Parker, who the crowd was firmly behind in that promo. And we still don't have clear air as to who has a dibs on Ms. La Primera, Ms. Vaquer, for that NXT World Championship. So is it going to be a WrestleMania of triple threat? A WrestleMania weekend of triple threat matches? We'll have to wait and see. Or will we get an actual number one contender for Stephanie Vaquer at Stand and Deliver? And just to echo Dulcie Chatham's comment just there, A and B, the crowd was not happy about the relinquishing. I mean, and that they were booing Ava for it. They didn't boo Stephanie when she talked, though. They were kind of like, we still hate it, but we love you. So Stephanie came out of that unscathed. But at the same time, I don't know. It's a stacked women's division, and I think Stephanie is amazing. But I don't want her to be wrestling in every segment on the show either. You know, I wish there was a more creative way they could have done that. They could have just as easily had some kind of mess with the Fallon Henley match last week. But I also really enjoyed seeing her go 2 for 2 last week too. So she is, even though she's relinquishing that title, she is in a rarefied air of having 2 separate title defenses in one night. And, I don't care what Mandy Rose thinks. She's top of the game. So, but I will not judge anyone who was not satisfied with that outcome. But we are going to get a great match to crown a new champion come Stand and Deliver as a result. And, of course, Stephanie's still going to deliver with whoever she ends up fighting, whether it is Jada Parker or whether it is Jordan Grace or both. We'll see what happens. All right. We're getting a retrospective on Triple H's WrestleMania entrances. And I got a hot take for you guys. I think more often than not, Triple H's WrestleMania entrances are more overrated than underrated. Sorry. The tricycle motorcycle gang entrance, the Conan the Barbarian entrance. Now, the WrestleMania 31, where he had like the golden skull and stuff, and he had, the next generation of women's wrestlers flanking him, that was pretty cool. And when he had Motorhead play him out, also pretty cool, even though they couldn't remember the lyrics to their own song. But nobody's going to say nothing bad about Lemmy. So is what it is. Hey, hit me up, A and B. You know where to find me. We will members lounge and talk about that. I love being the NXT correspondent of the coalition. As we going to whoop that trick right now. Uh-huh. All right. By the way, Booker T had some things to say about Swerve online recently. I'm not one to gossip, so you didn't hear that from me. But if you seek, you will find. Just letting you know what's out there. All right. Heel or face, you ain't getting Trick Williams in a shirt. I think that's one constant of the universe as a shirtless Trick Williams. And I can't blame him. If I had abs like Trick, I'd never wear a shirt again. Didn't matter what my zip code was. If I was living in Anchorage, Alaska, I'd be like, check these out, polar bears, while I run away. Rickardy, welcome to the chat, my friend. You got here just in time. Rickardy showed up at the same time as Trick Williams. Is Rickardy in dark state? That's what I need to know. I've never not seen y'all in the same place at the same time. All right. Trick's got the mic. Trick still got some fans in that crowd. Shout out to Mello. This is the TW network. Trick Williams. Are these losers wedding Trick Williams? Go touch some grass. This man can cut a promo. Here comes Javon. Man, Javon's starting to get on my nerves. I'm sorry, y'all. He keeps sticking his nose in the business. He said, grown folks. By the way, I hope none of you guys, none of you men and women, none of you ladies and gentlemen in the Mark by Wrestling family are as chronically online as I can be. But I just want to point out that 3 highly talented black men are carrying this men's division right now. And I want y'all to remember that anytime you people see anybody online trying to drag WWE's name through the mud when it comes through diversity of talent. Javon said, I don't mean needing to break out anybody's shadow to get to a number 1 spot.
You ain't Trick Williams shadow right now. What you know about being the NXT champion, dog? What you know about selling the tickets, doing the media? What you know about having a brand on your back? You can't relate. What you know about being the A champion? Hey man, look, winning the title, that's great, man. But carrying the title, defending the title, that's a whole nother ballgame. And you can't hold that title like I can hold that.
Trick is cooking, man, because Javon, as talented as he is, hadn't won nothing yet.
You said you won one? You said you A champion. Trick, you don't know who the hell you is, dude. Bro, you ain't Trick Williams. You Carmelo Hayes.
Uh-oh. Javon said, you ain't Trick Williams. You Carmelo Hayes.
It makes sense. Because everything that you telling me right now is everything Melo told you a year ago. And if you like me, that makes you a damn hypocrite. So you're trying to water me down to make yourself feel better? But since you want to talk about it, I've done something that no one has done, including you. And that's drop Oba Femi.
Javon did say he's the only one who's dropped Oba Femi, but say his name and Oba appears.
Nonsense to my face. You really think you did something there? Oh, congratulations. You dropped the ruler. Lucky shot. Never again. Bro, Trick. Stop playing with me like I don't got your number, bro. Nobody. Hey, does anybody forget about Demon? Did you forget about Demon? Because if we want to check history, I only needed one more second to change history. You know what I mean? I only needed one more second to change history.
Javon's really confident for someone who still hasn't actually won a title or beaten one of the top talent yet. Better luck next year, dog.
NXT, your success will not be at the expense of the rulers that will deliver. Because whether you like it or not, Javon, you live in the present, you live in the now, and the now belongs to Oba Femi. That's exactly what I'm talking about, dog. And listen,
Trick trying to roll up to push Javon out. This is kind of like the Bianca, Io, and Rhea thing, except Oba Femi's the champion. He's like, nah, we ain't doing this. Okay. Student body president Ava's out again.
Trick Williams.
All right, it's triple threat weekend, y'all. We've got triple threat weekend. Oh, Trick lays out Javon. And now Trick and Oba going at it. My goodness gracious. And Oba lays out Trick. Clotheslines him right out the ring. Uh-oh, lights are out. That can only mean one thing. Here comes Dark State. Here they come. They come into the ring now. Oh, and they're all swarming Oba, man. Swarming Oba Femi. And Javon. Conveniently, Trick had been knocked out of the ring. Man, what a move. A slingshot into a backdrop. Now Trick's in the ring. Well, we're going to find out right now, y'all. We're going to find out. Where is he at? It would be really soon to expose this. Okay, Trick is throwing hands. No, I guess he's not the leader. Trick's about to eat the launch and power bomb. Oh. Well, that rules that out, y'all. Well, Trick is not the leader of Dark State. Unless they try to pull a mulligan on that and be like, oh, yeah, we attacked him on purpose. That would be stupid. So none of these three guys have connections to Dark State. We'll see what happens going forward. All right, y'all. So it begs the question. This is becoming the WrestleMania weekend of triple threat matches. We are most likely going to have Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley for the women's title. We're going to have CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins in a triple threat match. There's a chance we're going to get Stephanie Vaquer, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker in a triple threat match. And we're definitely now getting Oba Femi, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams in a triple threat match. I can't remember the last time there were this many of the same match type, other than, one-on-one matches, of course, ever, for an event, especially one at the prestige level of WrestleMania weekend with Stand and Deliver and that. So let's survey the chat right now. Number one, how are you feeling about these Stand and Deliver matches as they're coming together? We got the ladder match coming. Stephanie is going to pick her challenger, and also we've got a men's triple threat for the NXT championship on the books as well. We still haven't gotten our North American title match tonight either, which will be coming up here quick as well. So what do you guys think about the Stand and Deliver card so far? And now that we've seen what we see, do you think we have seen the leader of Dark State? Is it somebody who we've already seen on NXT TV? Or is it just going to be that group working as a group, kind of like the Shield did when they showed up at the main roster? What do you guys think? Got to pop for this one, so I got to share it for Dossie Chatham. Teddy Long booking trickled down to NXT. Well, I don't know how many tag team matches we got, playa, and nobody's gone one-on-one with The Undertaker yet. But, yeah, just throwing everybody in a match who's got beef, why not? The words of the late Carl Weathers, you got a stew going when you do that. So there is that. I realized I haven't even had my match ticker up tonight. But just again, guys, if you want to support the channel, we are working hard to try to get ourselves up to having a Super Chat champion and implementing Super Chats. But if you want to support the channel in the meantime, you can still do that. And anybody who donates, I'll still feature you here. Glad to do that as well. Through Cash App, through Venmo, however you want to do that. And if you want to attach that to a chat message as well, let me know when you make your message, and I'll be glad to highlight that for you once I confirm your donation. So thank you guys so much just for being a part of the channel and for all that you do. We have such a great time in here each and every week. And we've still got probably, just under an hour left in the show this week. So, I'm looking forward to the Spears and Ricky Saints match. And I'm very curious. I'm curious about what they're going to do with Dark State. I think there's still going to be a leader emerging from there. And I'm also wondering if Stax Lorenzo gets involved with them in some sort of alliance capacity, or if maybe he just turns on Tony as a result of them. Meanwhile, we're back. Andre Chase getting checked out backstage. He's got cracked ribs. Uriah Connors and Cale Dixon, the NXT pledges. Uh-oh. Fight in the medical area. Oh, Jada and Jordan going at it. Oh, hip attack right into the garage door. That's no good. Man, feel like the high school cafeteria, man. Oh, Fraxium and Hank and Tank here. These are the Evolve guys, huh? I swear these boys look like 80s movie villains. I feel like I'm serious. Every 80s summer movie I ever watched, the villain was some variation of Swipe Right. They're the Cobra Kai boys. They're One Crazy Summer, if you guys ever saw that. And yeah, they look like they're going to tear down the rec center to build a housing development. Those two guys. All right, Roxy's out here. All right, so we got Roxy and Kalani tonight. Sorry, couldn't remember. Who do you got for this match, Roxy or Kalani? Let's come in here. Samantha Poole. It's giving California Surfer Boys. Yeah, there's some major Zach Morris, California Dreams vibes going with Swipe Right. And they also need a little more protein. They look like high schoolers to me, but maybe I'm just getting old. Thank you, Samantha Poole, for the commentary. You're right on with that. George saying, I don't think Roxanne needs this. I'm going to assume that to mean you're picking Kalani. Oh, yeah, I see later on you have already picked Kalani for this. I agree. I am ready. I'm ready for Roxanne to go to Raw or SmackDown. I'm maybe, even if they need to wait till after WrestleMania to debut her, I'm ready for her to come up and start wreaking some havoc up there and being involved there. Much more prefer her to be up there at this point. Justin, I feel like they're doing an Aces and Eights leader reveal thing with Dark State. Maybe so. They might have it a little bit longer. We might see that ride out just a little bit longer and have that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. So far, everybody picking Kalani. I don't hate you for it. I also got Kalani in this match too. But yeah, I'm just happy to see Roxy on TV. I need her on TV more because she's got a lot to give. And hopefully, man, I hope they just pick up that Bailey feud again and let them finish that. That would be great. T-Man, hey man, welcome into the chat. It's good to see you. Right now we've got Roxanne Perez going one-on-one with Kalani Jordan, and the winner will be entered into a 6-woman ladder match at Stand and Deliver to declare a new Women's North American Champion, title that Stephanie Vaquer was forced to relinquish tonight by Ava, on the conditions of just giving the women more opportunities to wrestle. So that was a decision not popular with the NXT faithful. They didn't want to see her relinquish at all, and we're cheering very hard for Stephanie in that segment. But as a return, Stephanie is being allowed to pick her challenger for Stand and Deliver for the NXT Women's Championship, and we do not yet have that answer, although Jada Parker and Jordan Grace have made very violent suggestions of nominating themselves for that role. So we'll see what happens coming up there as we're back at commercial break. Okay. So we're coming up to WrestleMania season, the most wonderful time of the year to be a wrestling fan, even if you weren't a WWE fan, because so much wrestling happens around this time. Yeah, T-Man, we've been talking about that tonight with Roxy still being in NXT. I'm just going to put you up here. I'm not entirely convinced that this might be a way of ushering her out, because it seemed like they were teasing her on the main roster a little bit with that Bailey stuff. And I'm hopeful that she made a good enough impression that they're ready to move her up, because in a way she's kind of got too much for NXT now, and she really needs to have some space in the main roster. I think she could thrive there pretty well, although and I think as a singles competitor too, you could start her out in the women's mid card, have her come up and dethrone Lyra Valkyria. I think because I think she works best as a heel, so I wouldn't want her going up against Chelsea Green. But yeah, that's anyway how I'm seeing it. But we'll see what we get from all of that. Justin thinks they should put Kalani in Dark State. Oh, that's interesting. Yes, I agree 100%, T-Man. She's so talented, and she's run her course in NXT. Exactly. NXT, it's like high school. It's like college. Like, you can have great run during that time, but eventually if you're just hanging around there, it gets to be a little sad, in a way. And I'm not thinking of anybody in particular who's actually doing that right now, but like, it's clear she's got a lot of talent that could be utilized more. And I think, obviously you want to time things out. You don't want to just rush somebody up 3 weeks before WrestleMania, especially if they're not going to have a match at WrestleMania. And then they're just lingering around waiting for something to happen. So if it were up to me at this point now in the calendar, that I would bring her up, do whatever they're going to do here in this match, maybe even give her like one more goodbye match at WrestleMania, and then bring her up either like the Raw after WrestleMania, or wait till they do the draft and then bring her up at that point, and then make her a fixture of the main roster. I'd start her off in the women's mid card and move her up to the main event and the women's mid card. Now that they have mid card titles, because I think she would be a lot of fun wrestling with one of the women's mid card titles as well. Give her some reps there. All right. So before we get back to the show, while we're still in commercial, just WrestleManias. I'm curious. What is your favorite WrestleMania of all time? I'm saying, what's your favorite WrestleMania? You don't have to feel pressured to say what you think the best one is. What is the one you love to watch? Either like when you were a kid or even recently, as much as last year. Like, what's a WrestleMania that you feel like you really enjoyed the most when you watched it? I'm curious where you guys land on that, because I know we're all different ages and come from different spaces and all that stuff. So curious what you guys think. I'll come back for it here in a few minutes now that we're back from commercial, and Roxy and Kalani still kind of at a stalemate, reversing each other, getting back into it. Oh, hard smack by Kalani. I'm enjoying Kalani as a heel. I didn't really I thought she was going to get stale fast when she was a babyface, you know? I liked her as a babyface, but I was like, I don't know what's happening. But then when she turned, man, I like her more in that regard. That's good stuff. All right. Rickety, Rickety, WrestleMania 9. Now, I'm very intrigued by that. You don't get 9 out of a lot of people. I'd love a follow-up from you on what was so special about 9 for you. It's the only time the Steiner brothers ever wrestled at WrestleMania. That's one thing I really love about it because they were one of my favorite tag teams of all time. Dawsey said a tie between WrestleMania 17 and 19. WrestleMania 17, always a popular answer. And 19 might be one of the most underrated WrestleManias of all time. There's really not a bad match on the card. The Undertaker match was a little less, but so many high quality matches at that WrestleMania. Oh, what a stomp. Pete Dunne would be proud over what Roxy just did to Kalani's fingers. I'm really impressed by Roxy. You know, she's got good ring presence, but also like she picks the best times to play to the camera and play to the crowd. T-Man saying WrestleMania 31 and 19. More love for 19. I like that. Okay, 31 was also excellent. You had Seth Rollins cash in at the end of the night, the best RKO of all time, some people would say. You had Daniel Bryan winning that Intercontinental ladder match. You had a lot of good stuff at that Mania, so that's a good entry as well. The choice to have Seth Rollins cash in at 31-2 was a stroke of genius. I remember watching that match. I thought I was going to have to hate watch that Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar match. I thought it was going to be like the WrestleMania 20 Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match where the crowd was just going to crap on it the whole time. And when Seth showed up, not only was it a relief to all the crowds not wanting Roman to win at that time in his career, but it was a genuine shock too because it had never been done. That was pretty amazing. Dawsey also loves WrestleMania 30. Oh, you were at WrestleMania 30. That's awesome. Are you are you in the New Orleans area, Dawsey, or did you just travel for that one? And if so, are you gonna try to make a play for 42? Justin, the question is, what is your favorite WrestleMania? Not necessarily what you think is the best one, but maybe the one that brings you the most joy, the one that you enjoyed the most. T-Man also enjoyed the one with Shawn Michaels, Taker, and Triple H. That was at 28, I think, the Hell in the Cell one. Yeah, because it was right after 27. You live now from New Orleans. Got you. Okay. I almost went to 27. I had tickets to go to 27 in Atlanta, but I ended up not going because I moved to North Carolina like a week or two before the event. So I ended up selling my tickets. But in hindsight, that was not a highly beloved WrestleMania anyways. So, right, Dawsey, exactly. Money's always the thing. My favorite WrestleManias, since I contribute here. All right, we're finally going picture-in-picture. We have not really gone picture-in-picture at all tonight. Finally do it in this match. I bet we'll probably get some during the title match too. But this is the first time tonight I've seen this. My favorite WrestleManias behind me. Oh, actually, you can't see because of the glare of the light. But WrestleMania 3 was my first WrestleMania that I loved. It was made me a fan. Ricky Steamboat, Randy Savage. I've talked about that match many a time. Hogan and Andre. I mean, it was a huge event. It was just a big deal. And then also, so 3 and 5. Have a lot of mileage with me. The Mega Powers exploding as well, Hogan and Savage, because those were 2 VHS tapes that I owned as a kid, so I watched those over and over again. But beyond that, the next one I would say I enjoyed the most from top to bottom was 24. I actually did get to attend that one with my brother. So that one in Orlando with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair. Edge and The Undertaker, Cena, Orton, and Triple H in a triple threat. And then you also had CM Punk winning his first Money in the Bank at that match. At that Mania. It was a pretty good show overall. A lot of fun there. Justin Hallencrane says the one with Brock and Kurt Angle. Also, so 19. So I think WrestleMania 19 has really gotten a lot of the love in the chat tonight as one of the classics, which is definitely on paper one of the most impressive WrestleMania cards. I remember, I'm just going off the top of my head. You had Matt Hardy and Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title there. You had Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho one-on-one. Brock and Kurt Angle, obviously, in the main event. Triple H and Booker T, which ended up not being really a great match, in my opinion, but the angle to lead up, I mean, it could have been better. Austin and The Rock, one final time. Then you had Hulk Hogan and Mr. McMahon as well in a street fight. So those were some all-timer matchups. So big stuff. George says the one WrestleMania where Brock Lesnar broke the Undertaker streak. Yeah, WrestleMania 30. That was a great show as well. I enjoyed that for a lot of reasons. There's always the shock factor of Taker losing his streak. There's Daniel Bryan beating pretty much all the members of Evolution, all the active members of Evolution in one night, beating Triple H at the beginning of the night, and then Orton and Batista at the end of the night. The miracle on Bourbon Street, as Michael Cole called it. Cesaro winning the first Andre the Giant Battle Royal back when it meant something for a second. And the crowd was so hot for Cesaro that night. That was so much fun. And low key, John Cena and Bray Wyatt. And I know a lot of people didn't love how that feud finished, but leading up to that was a hot angle too. And not a lot of people talk about it, but I was a big fan of the Shield just squashing the New Age Outlaws and Kane too. That was a lot of fun to watch as well. So just a great card from top to bottom there, WrestleMania 30. Kalani is pulling off a lot of impressive moves, and I hate that they're kind of being wasted on picture-in-picture right now. But she is she did a corkscrew dive to the outside of the ring. Now we're back. Just hit a X Factor in the ring, but only got 2. She looks like she's crying a little bit. Maybe it's just sweat, but the way it's run out the side of her face. All right, still pulling Roxy up here, trying to do it again. Reversal into an arm drag. Roxy seems to be having a little bit of a gear issue. She's constantly kind of having to pick a wedgie out every time she stands up. And it seems to be slowing her down just a little bit. Oh, step over roundhouse kick. Oh, split-legged moonsault. Nobody home. Can Roxy take advantage? Are we going to get a Pop Rocks out of this? Nope, off the ropes. Oh, like a cartwheel smack to the back of the head. 1, 2, just 2. Roxy frustrated with the ref over that one. You see, Rhea Ripley, that's how you cry to a ref. You don't smack him in the face and then get disqualified. Whoa. Quite a smack to Kalani. Kalani getting fired up. Justin, I believe Kalani is a heel. This is basically a heel versus heel matchup. Oh, went for a Pop Rocks, but she over jumped. Trying to go for a roll up, but Kalani holding on to the ropes. Kick to the knee. Oh, DDT from the knees. Split-legged moonsault again. Is this enough? That's 3. Kalani wins clean over Roxanne Perez. So right now we've got Zarya and Kalani Jordan so far qualify for our ladder match. Solid back and forth match. Pretty solid, especially given that they're both heels. Yeah, Vic said it was an upset. I mean, Roxanne is a veteran for NXT. So, I mean, Kalani isn't exactly a rookie anymore. She is a former North American champion herself. But yeah, Roxanne definitely has the experience advantage on her. So I'm for it. All right, we're backstage with Ava now. And Stone. We're getting a Dark State 6-man tag next week against Oba Femi, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams. Ricky Saints interview backstage. Ricky got some cup therapy going on there on his arm. All right. Ricky Saints fired up. Says he's going to taste gold tonight. What do you guys think? When they come back from commercial, it'll be title match time. Who y'all got? Ricky Saints or Sean Spears? T-Man, I do wonder if they're going to turn Trick Williams heel. He has been... he's been eking in that direction week after week, but Dark State also jumped him tonight too. So, a lot of us were talking about at the beginning of the show if we'll find out if Trick is actually aligned with Dark State. It appears that he is not. He got targeted just like Oba Femi and Javon Evans did. But we'll see what happens. Justin Hallencrane. Stand back. The Ricky Saint coming through. I heard a little bit of that in his voice, too. Good call. Good call. All right. George is wondering if they'll actually give Ricky Saints the NXT North American Championship. I got to wonder as well, George. I don't know if they'll pull the trigger on this tonight. So close to a big show like Stand and Deliver. I'm wondering if we might get some shenanigans and get a rematch that Stand and Deliver, maybe with a stipulation. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I think Samantha and I might actually be on the same wavelength, Ricky, but I feel like there will be interference that would be to a rematch to Stand and Deliver. Yep. Great minds think alike, Samantha. Good call. Yeah, T-Man, I was hoping Trick would be the leader as well. I think they would work well with this new attitude that he's got. So I'm curious. I mean, I just feel, the last time I remember seeing factions arise, and I'm not saying that I'm authoritative on this. I'm just going off of my memory, right? And what left an impression on me. The last time I remember being introduced to factions that didn't have a leader who was already established on the roster of the show they were already on was both 10 years ago, the Wyatt family and the Shield. And even with the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt had a different gimmick on the main roster before with NXT, that version of NXT before with Husky Harris and all that stuff with the Nexus. However, he was a different guy, such a different guy as Bray Wyatt. So I'm just conditioned to think that there's probably some kind of a veteran loosely speaking, who should still be affiliated with Dark State to raise those guys up. And if there's not, and if they're just trusting those 4 guys to be those 4 guys in a main event angle right now, more power to them. They must see something special in them. So we'll see what happens. All right, George, you got, okay, I'm with you on that one. If the culling gets involved, I can see it happening at Stand and Deliver, and then Ricky Saints win the championship. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be long unless Ricky shoots himself in the foot and proves himself to not really be worth his own hype, which I have no evidence to suggest that he is yet, that he's even close to that. I think they would give him a big moment at Stand and Deliver to win a title. So Justin Hallencrane with the question right now, which I think we can share with the whole group here. What is your favorite faction in wrestling? My favorite faction of all time was probably the Four Horsemen. I didn't love them at the time because they were heels, and I was just a little tyke, loving my baby faces. But over time, I respected their longevity. The fact that they're, the thing about the Four Horsemen, you hated them because they were heels, and as a fan of the baby faces, you also hated that they had the belts all the time. But also, you kind of just hated the fact that they were as good in the ring as they were too. Like, they didn't always cheat. Sometimes they just took advantage of things, kind of like how Gunther wrestles, now. Like, they just always seem to win. So it was Four Horsemen for me. Also, Evolution. I liked them too. Okay, so we got Zarya, Kalani, and Sol Ruka backstage.
It's going to be either me or Zarya to become the new NXT North American Champion. Hang on. What are you talking about? I would go for next week. But we're supposed to will finish last. Ain't that right, Sol? Okay, just stop. Come on. You're not going to draw the wedge between Surka. Not worth my time. Surka. You know what? I do love it.
So they're calling their team Zaruka now. Dark State promo. Okay, I kind of like their just little vertical video vertical video promos. So this will be interesting next week heading in, and we also see that Sol Ruka. We get Jordan Grace and Jada Parker next week. Okay, now it doesn't say that it's for the number 1 contendership. It's just a match, and yeah. Okay. It's title match time, y'all. Let's do this. It's giving World Stars. World Star. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Okay. Title match time. Who y'all got? While you're putting your predictions in the chat, I'm going to revisit some of y'all's favorite factions since you were kind enough to ask me. Share me with yours. George said his favorite faction is Undisputed Era. Don't hate it. They were dominant for a time in that black and gold NXT. Justin Hallencrane's my favorite is Bullet Club and LAX. LAX, super underrated, man. Respect to Homicide, who recently retired. Justin, come back in the chat. Tell me, who is your favorite Bullet Club leader? I'm curious if you were a, Prince Devitt person, a Kenny person, an AJ person, etc. Let me know. Samantha Poole said Undisputed Era, The Shield, Evolution, and Nexus. CM Punk Nexus or Wade Barrett Nexus, Samantha Poole? I'm curious to know which one you lean towards. All right. Justin Hallencrane said mine is Bullet Club, LAX, Wyatt Family, and The Shield. All solid, man. All solid. All right. Justin's calling for Ricky Saint by DQ. And we have the entrance now of Shawn Spears and the culling. NXT North American Champion Shawn Spears. I feel like Izzy is dressed a little out of character for the rest of them. Because the rest of them are pretty much dark colors, and she's got just a little bit of too much lightness in her top. But I'm just sitting here being critical for fun. Okay. So we got, the CM Punk version of Nexus, Samantha. All right, I got you. Yeah, Punk was a great leader for them for the time they existed. Justin says the Kenny Bullet Club and David Finlay. Okay. I'm curious what the future holds for David Finlay. He seems to be doing well. I think is he still in Japan, right? I don't keep up with a lot in Japan, but hey, man, he's a Finlay, so I'm sure he's got a bright future. Interested to see what's ahead of him as well. The more reps he gets in his career. All right, we're getting the proper ring announcing here, so let's see what happens. Okay. It's title time, y'all. You know, if Ricky has a good year, he'll be doing Stand and Deliver / WrestleMania next year in his hometown. Don't sell short Ricky Saints having an ascension to the main title picture by next WrestleMania. Crowd is awake. Oh my gosh. Okay, the referee for this match I went to grade school with. The referee for this match is a grade school friend of mine. I'm Facebook friends with him. I swear I'm not lying. I was telling A and B about this not too long ago because I saw him trying to restrain. He was at Elimination Chamber trying to restrain Jade Cargill after she attacked Naomi in the chamber. And I was like, wait a second. Okay, we're off and running. Sorry I got distracted, guys, but that's legit. DA. Okay, Ricky Saints is a house of fire right now, and the crowd is for it. Oh, what a chop. Crowd is responding to Ricky really hard right now. Yeah, the ref, we were in band together. He's actually a pretty good trumpet player. I know what to do to be the new green shirt guy. I don't know. You know how much I love my T-shirts. I had to commit to one T-shirt for the rest of my years. I don't know. But is what it is. If I could, though, I would do it in a heartbeat. Absolutely. I don't know if I'm ready to move to Orlando, though. I like it out here. All right. Oh. Ricky jumps off the apron, gets caught by Shawn Spears. Nope, backdrop. I was about to say, going for a pile driver out on the floor. But yeah, we went to elementary and middle school together. Ricky's just strutting across, almost like Penta, strutting across the barricade and hops off. Ricky hopping back up. Hit that pose, Ricky. Come on. Nice. Ricky hitting his pose. Yeah, that pose, it's like the Michael Jordan dunk pose, man. That's going to be on so much merch one of these days. That's so funny. Yeah, a friend of mine. So yeah, like his shoot name is Antron. He's got a different he's got an actual gimmick name as a ref. But yeah, we went to school together from 2nd grade through 8th grade until I moved. He's a good trumpet player too. We were in band together. I played saxophone. He played trumpet. Solid dude though. What's really wild is that we went to school together all those years, and I never knew he liked wrestling. That's crazy, man. It makes me sad. I wish I had a DeLorean, could go back and we could have relived. Those were prime wrestling years too. That would have been 88 through 94, man. Oh man, that would have been right from the Mega Powers to Bret Hart, man. Those were great years, man. Anyway, this is a lesson for all of you. Never be ashamed of your fandom. Reach out and find friends around you who you can share your fandom with, because you never know where people will end up. Anyway, don't ever be afraid to be a mark at any age of life. It's just enjoying what you love in life. And life's too short to be ashamed of the stuff you enjoy. Meanwhile, we're still picture in picture here. Let's see. Stand back. Ricky's coming through. Yep. Man, Ricky be showing off. But that's good, man. Like, I mean, the roster needs, this charisma. And, oh, man, Ricky on the outside launched off the steps and ate a super kick from Sean. Sean now in control as well. And, I don't want to sit here and, sometimes I make a few cheeky jokes at the expense of AEW sometimes. And I want AEW to succeed, because when we have successful wrestling promotions that are active in the world, it motivates everyone to be at the top of their game. And when wrestling is at the top of its game all around, we as the fans benefit, right? But it's just tough to see in these times, right, that two of the top main eventers for WrestleMania this year are CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. Jade Cargill and in a fire feud with Naomi. Now, most of that is due to Naomi doing some of the best work of her career right now. And then you've got Shawn Spears and Ricky Starks vying for a prestigious title in NXT as well. And I just think about how some of those guys were treated, and it's for the best. I mean, better for them to thrive in the WWE culture than to languish in an AEW. And there are also stars currently in AEW that were languishing in WWE. And I think, we've got people like, I think of Swerve the most, Swerve and Tony Storm the most, who are thriving in AEW. You could say people like Ricochet and stuff like that too, who's doing well, but I wouldn't say Ricochet is doing better yet in AEW than he was, because he hasn't held a title yet, and he held multiple titles in WWE. But he's doing well though, right? So sometimes you just got to find your place. You know what I mean? I can hear my tag team partner over here getting feisty at somebody outside. So if you hear a bark, I apologize. It's not because Braun Breaker's on TV. All right. Got a question from Samantha Poole in the chat as we're continuing this North American title match here, our main event on NXT, where Shawn Spears is just eating he's just gotten knocked down on the top turnbuckle, and Ricky is coming up. Samantha, don't worry. I got your question up here. We're going to talk about it. He be going for a superplex here. I'll tell you what, man, Ricky and I saw you said something about Penta. Ricky and Penta both are really good sellers in their matches. Ricky's last one-on-one match, he did some great selling in that match as well, and it really had me believing. But where we go, superplex. Oh, wow, superplex into a splash. Brutal landing. It's got the crowd chanting so much that they're censoring. So we've got something strong. Man, what a slam. Almost like a jackhammer from the top. Samantha Poole with a question, though. What do you think about Penta taking his first pin? Do you think it was the right call, or should they have waited or too early for him to take his first pin? I didn't have a problem with it at all, Samantha. And I'll tell you why. Someone taking their pin is less about them actually having their shoulders to the mat for 3 seconds and more about what got them there. If they had just had Penta got beaten clean by Finn Balor's finish, and had it been one-on-one, I'd had a major problem with it. But number one, it was in a tag match. Number two, it was him and Braun Breaker teaming together, who had just been fighting each other last week. So they didn't have a bond together as a team. And number three, even though there's been some tension, spine buster by Ricky Saints, fired up right now. Even though there's been tension between Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, they are long-standing members of the same faction. Oh, Ricky looked like he was about to go for his finish, but Spears bails very smartly. Judgment Day is still a long-standing faction. So my rule is, if you're ever going to have Tornado DDT on the outside, okay, if you're ever going to have a tag team match of the Can They Coexist team versus a faction tag team, I think the faction tag team should almost always win. It's the same. Are we getting a belt shot? Sean's got the belt. Oh, no, belt shot. Come on, Antron. Come on, dude. 2.9. All right. Sorry. Calling my friend by his government name. And at the end of the day, Samantha, I'll wrap this up. I'm trying to do two things at once. Penta got hit by a Braun Breaker spear, and I don't have any problem with him getting pinned by anybody if he just took one of Braun Breaker's spears. So I don't have a problem with that at all. Now he's not bulletproof either. So if that ends up being a multi-man match at Mania, it really makes you think any one of them could win. Great question and great insight into that as well. I think we could get a 4-way match for the IC title with T-Man actually just brought it up now. A 4-way with Dominic, Finn, Penta, and Braun. Just because I want to see the guy win, I'd say throw Sheamus in there too. Death Valley Driver by Saints, and there's more. Oh, no, he's bringing the culling into the ring. This is where DQs can happen. Saints is taking on everybody like Lex Luger fighting off the NWO in 1997. Ricky Saints. Oh, wow. Okay. Ricky doing the Braun Strowman run around the ring and caught a dude with the spear. Ricky fired up. Now he's got Shawn Spears one-on-one in the middle of the ring. Spear off the ropes. I will say he's fired up. I don't love seeing everybody do a spear, but it was good. He's got him alone in the middle of the ring. He's got him for the Rochambeau. Izzy Dame's still out there, though. 1, 2. New champion. New champion. They did it. They pulled the trigger that fast. Izzy Dame looks mad. She's holding that belt still, and she has to turn it over to the ref. Y'all, Ricky Saints is a champion in NXT and his first title shot. I cannot believe they did it that fast. But he fired up. That closing sequence was great. He was firing on all cylinders. The crowd was hot and behind it. We've already got a graphic in the background declaring our new North American champion. He's got the laser lights going around. Dude, that was 1997 WCW versus NWO, man. That was August 1997. Lex Luger hitting the forearm on everybody, putting Hogan in the rack, and everybody just blew up. The only thing that's missing is that the entire locker room isn't coming down to celebrate with him. But still, that was dope. That was a legit surprise. I mean, I believe Ricky Saints had what it took to win the match. I just didn't think it would happen this fast. Ricky Saints celebrating now, standing there taking in the moment. Who's here? Oh, Ethan Page is here. The AEW Ascension Club continues. And he cut that celebration short, and Ethan Page holding the North American title over Ricky Saints. That is a stand and deliver match I want to see. Once again, man, as we got our credits and we got our Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. What a show tonight, guys. What a finish. What a finish. All right. Here we go, guys. Catching up. Let's see. Looks like Samantha Poole wrapping up the Penta conversation from earlier. I agree with your statement. At first, I didn't know how I felt about Penta taking his first pin, but hearing your statement, it makes sense. It was a tag match. It wasn't that big of a deal. I'm glad we can agree. Yeah, and that's the thing sometimes is that, we get a lot of people online who will be reactionary. Like Penta has been made to be nearly indestructible up until now. And so like he's already strong. Everybody believes in him, and so it's okay for him to get cheap shotted a little in that regard. So, I think he'll settle in now. He'll still be a top, at least top mid-card guy right now. And just in time for WrestleMania to make whatever that match ends up being really compelling. All right, y'all. So 2 things. Number one thing we always do in our family of channels, drop your rating at the show tonight. We'll talk about that. And also something I want to do with you guys. We're going to have going forward what I'm calling marked moments, okay? What moment marked you tonight? What was your favorite moment of the night? It can be anything from a promo to a match to a surprise to a move, a spot in the ring. What got you hyped tonight? What moment marked you for wrestling? And we want to go through that tonight as well. All right. Coming through some of these ratings. George says, I'm giving NXT a solid 9.5. What a show tonight. Can't argue with you there, George. Samantha Poole said a solid 9. I totally agree with you there. Justin Hallencrane, 10 out of 10. And that is just 2. Yeet. Loving it. George said the main event was awesome tonight. Yeah, I mean, listen, NXT is doing a phenomenal job of building. I mean, like, the Stephanie Vaquer thing is controversial, but also in the wake of that, they're building a whole lot of intrigue for what's to come. We're getting a lot more matchups, and there are ways to be upset about that, and at the same time still be looking forward to what's to come. Justin Hallencrane said the Oba and Trick and Javon. I'm going to think you meant Javon there. I think that was a great segment as well. It's just awesome to see those 3 guys carrying the men's roster right now with the A storyline right there. And I'm interested to see where we go from that. Super chat coming from our brother and sister A and B Combos Wrestling Edition of the show. As always, dipped out at the end, didn't want to know the ending, saving that reaction for the members. So all of you members who are here for A and B Combos Wrestling Edition, keep your notifications open for a members only reaction to the main event of NXT. Samantha Poole saying that main event, the ending of that main event was your mark moment. Can't disagree with you there. T-Man, 8 out of 10. Seeing Dark State attack. Trick Williams was one of my favorites, and seeing Jordan Grace throw that security guard. Thank you, T-Man, for bringing that back up. I have forgotten that happened so much. It happened tonight. I'm going to agree with you, T-Man. Seeing Jordan Grace totally yeet that security guard out of the ring, who did his best, Javon Evans, just launched himself off the top rope, over the top rope into the entryway. Also, don't hate on me, guys, but another marked moment for me tonight was seeing Hank and Tank wearing Pretty Deadly's tops. One of the last things I had on my bingo card. Thought it was really funny. And again, Hank and Tank are slowly and quietly really growing on me as a team, proving themselves as complete entertainers and performers in the ring. I'm just waiting for them to find that sort of magic ticket and hit that switch and get to the next level. All right, George got a comment here. Surprised they have Ricky winning the championship, and it looks like we had an Ethan versus Ricky at Stand and Deliver. I'm telling you, man, Ethan and Ethan and Ricky, man. So looking like what we might be having. We're going to have a ladder match for the women's North American title. Stephanie Vaquer is going to be wrestling probably either Miss Parker or Jordan Grace, maybe both of them, for the NXT Women's Championship. We're getting a triple threat for the NXT Championship, and Dark State is just waiting in the wings on all 3 of these men for some reason. It looks like we might be getting Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page at Stand and Deliver. Fraxium, Fraxium's got something going on. We'll see what happens. Yes, Hank and Tank, they have potential. I've just got my eye on them. That they've got some growing to do, but we'll see what happens. If it's gonna be for Stephanie Vaquer, George is predicting Jordan Grace. I do think that if it's only going to be a one-on-one match, that Jordan is the one to do, because they just gave us Stephanie versus Jada on TV just a couple of weeks ago, which was a great match, but it wouldn't make sense to, on their biggest PLE of the year, to revisit a match they just did so quickly. But yeah, so keep dropping those ratings if you haven't yet. I think I'd give tonight's NXT I got to go with my gut. I'll give it a 9. They take you on a nice little roller coaster. They start you out hot. They give you something good. They don't really take you down so much as they show you some of their people who are still on the come up, and these main events lately, man, have been kicking. Under another crowd, if they were in Toledo, Ohio, for example, some of these matches might not hit as hard as they do, but this crowd is so invested in their performers. Just the fact that they really crapped on Stephanie Vaquer wanting to, being asked to relinquish that title the way they did, I thought was a great sign of, their affection for La Primera, which, I'm totally supportive of that affection as well. I think she's wonderful. I loved that they had the double defenses. It's a really tough situation to be in. You know what I mean? All right. We got Dulcie one more. Great NXT, 9 security tosses out of 10. And now on to Daredevil and Dark Side of the Ring. I'm going to have to see if I can narrow down a reaction for myself and see if I can maybe make that a reaction short. I'm still learning how to do that here on the channel. So if I can figure that out, I most definitely will. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight for our stream. Again, if you want to support the channel, you can do it right here, Marked by Wrestling on Cash App or SB Sandridge at Venmo. I'm glad to do all that I can to contribute to a space, not just a safe space, but a space of joy for pro wrestling, where, sometimes we can feel a little beaten down by it, be a little frustrated. We can share that, but we also find ways to still enjoy what we're doing and share that with one another. Loving it. So, Justin, thank you so much for being here, man. I'll see you on your way out. This is me. I just want to hold the door for you guys and meet you guys at the door on your way out. That's what a Southern gentleman would do. I'll walk you to the door, make sure you guys have a safe trip, and don't forget to call when you get home safe. You know what I mean? So listen, guys, keep your plates clean. Make sure your crock pots are fired up, your Instapots are ready to go, your air fryers are turned on, because we got Stand and Deliver on April 19th, Saturday morning, my time, and we are going to eat so well. We're going to have the nicest brunch you ever did see wrestling-wise before we get to WrestleMania Night 1, and we're going to be having a good time. It's Stand and Deliver. And like our boy Justin always says, just remember, wrestling is life and wrestling is death, but also wrestling is life. One more super chat from A&B, hashtag justice for Stephanie. Never change, never change. Hey, if there's anybody, listen, on the one hand, I understand. On the other hand, now you mean I don't get to see Stephanie twice every time? What is Booker T going to do with his life? Yeah. Moment of silence for the relinquishing of the North American Women's title. Okay, we're good. So anyway, guys, thank you again so much for being here, for all that you do to make Marked by Wrestling feel like a space and a community of warmth, joy, and great places to enjoy this wacky, weird thing we love called pro wrestling. All right, T-Man, thank you so much, dude. W Stream, have a blessed week, everyone. Absolutely. 10 bell salute for the relinquishing. Yes. I'm not going to ding 10 times. I'm not doing that. But do that in your hearts, as we would say at church. Take a moment, self-reflect, whatever. But love you guys so much. Appreciate you so much. And I can't leave you without our mission statement that being a mark just means you believe, and believing makes wrestling better. Don't forget to believe, guys. You guys are great believers in the shows we watch, and great believers in the matches we endure together and celebrate and experience. And you guys make this place what it is. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Shout out to Dossie. I'm also going to try to find me some Daredevil after this. And I hope you guys have a great evening. I will see you guys next time. Have a great night. God bless. Don't forget to believe.